Hello, mates.
Hi, everybody.
There was no energy in that. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
What's with your tood now?
I ain't got no tood.
Quarantine is going swimmingly. How's everyone doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Fine.
Good.
Fine. This is our second time recording this.
Yeah, because...
Do you want to explain why?
Oh, really? You see, that sounds like you're attacking me. And then the whole thing was entirely not my fault.
I know it wasn't.
So, less of the tood. So what happened was, we recorded it, everything was fine, everything was nice.
We recorded it about 4 weeks ago at this stage.
Yeah. And then came to editing, and my computer decided to shit itself.
Die,
basically. I don't know what happened. I think what I've done is I've tried playing too many high-spec games on a low-spec laptop, and I think I've melted the graphics card.
Yeah. But, it would turn on,
yeah,
but the screen wouldn't turn on.
No, and there was no outputs from it or anything, so...
No, so we tried plugging it into the TV, nothing would work. Just a fucking shit show, and then you ordered another one.
I ordered a new one, and because of the issues with the Rona and the supply chain, it took 2 weeks.
Yeah, around about 2 weeks. Because the courier, DPD, I'm going to call them out.
Oh, are we naming and shaming?
We're naming and shaming, DPD. They sent you a text and they were like, yeah, your delivery's arriving today. And then they pulled up to the neighbour's house and gave you nothing.
Yeah, and then drove off. And repeated this for the next week.
Yeah. So, yeah, that brought us up to last week. And then you just wanted to kind of play with it.
Yeah, basically. I got something quite nice, so I just wanted to play with it.
Yeah, and I've been playing with it too. I've been playing Planet Zoo.
Because I got something this time where the graphics card wouldn't melt for the next year or so at least. So
yeah, so that's what happened. That's why we're really late. I did ask you to make a post about it on social media, but I don't think you did.
I said that we were going to be late.
No, you said we were going to be a week late, and I asked you after that to do another one. And
I have no memory of this interaction.
Story of my fucking life.
So.
Story of my life. So, how's quarantine going for everyone?
We are, what, day fucking 3,487 now?
Yeah.
It feels like, anyway.
Yeah. I haven't been out of the house in a very long time, unless you count driving around our village. Twice.
Driving around our village twice, one in the opposite direction to the other.
Yeah. Because I'm still working from home, so, I'm still working. You're on a permanent holiday.
Yeah, I think the technical term for it is furloughed. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
So I still have a job, but I'm Schrodinger's employed. I both have a job and I'm unemployed.
Yeah, that's it. And we're not allowed more than 2 kilometers from our house.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed to go to the shops
for essential stuff and
and that's it.
So
yeah, because I still can't drive, you're not allowed to take passengers.
Nope.
They don't like you taking passengers in the car. So yeah, there's that, and there's also the thing of where we can't get our house.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't get our house because all the estate agents are fucking working from home and they can't show you houses.
Not only that, the banks haven't been open in branch for a month.
No, they have. They've been open, but you can't, there's no meetings going on. So, you can't go for mortgage meetings. You can't do any of that. It's just, literally for essential stuff lodging money and shit like that. If there's any issues with mortgages and shit, existing mortgages, they're doing that over the phone.
Yeah, sort of no new business.
No, basically. So we're all just kind of fucking waiting. But we did get a roadmap of when things will reopen.
Yeah.
And August is looking like
it's going to be a good month.
Yeah, and don't even get me started. We should fucking be getting ready to go to Ibiza right now.
We should be in the UK right now.
We should be in the UK. We should be picking up our friends tomorrow to go to Ibiza. And
here we are.
Here we are, sitting in our spare room full of cardboard boxes.
And emergency food that we've stockpiled.
Yeah, so
that's life.
It's pretty sad life right now.
Yeah, it's not great. And the weather's been absolutely beautiful for the past month.
Yeah.
But we can't go anywhere. Petrol's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
But we can't go anywhere.
Yeah. I can't even go outside to work because I can't see the fucking screen.
Yeah.
It's just very sad time.
It's quite tragic, though. Amazon be popping.
Oh, Amazon. I swear, I think our household in particular is keeping Amazon afloat right now.
Amazon be popping.
Yeah.
So, it's serious stuff as well. I mean, I actually got stopped at a checkpoint the other day.
Yeah.
So, like, they're actually taking it seriously.
Because it's a bank holiday weekend here, and there are a load of people going down to Kerry and stuff for their holiday homes.
Yeah.
There's people that have been stuck in Kerry since Easter because they let them in to go to their holiday homes, but the lockdown happened straight after that.
So they weren't allowed to leave.
So they've been stuck in their holiday homes now for over a
Kerry
month.
broadband for the past month.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's really fucked up. And
yeah.
I don't know. I think you guys in America have it quite bad at the moment.
Yeah. We're sort of...
We're not coming out of it, but we're
not coming out of it.
We can see the light at the end of the tunnel now.
And, like, the restrictions here have been taken a lot better, I think.
Still not amazing.
No.
But I think, it's just, that's what happens when you try and control people that aren't used to being controlled.
Yeah.
Basically.
Not that we're particularly used to being controlled, but...
No, but, like, we live with someone who's immunocompromised and stuff. And
so we've been taking it quite seriously before we were made to take it seriously.
Yeah, we were isolating before we were told to isolate, so... It's a really fucked up time, and I really hope that it kind of stops soon.
Yeah.
We were talking, we were on video chat with our friends the other night, and we were talking about how, like, the live music industry is going to really take a pummeling and stuff, and...
Just, like, things like that you don't necessarily think of.
Yeah.
Are going to be suffering, and it's going to be strange now when we do get allowed out to see people and things. It's still social distancing.
You're still going to have to social distance. And
so...
It's like, what things you can't do while social distancing, like go to the hairdressers.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
I mean, that's not really a problem for me, but...
Like, I've been buying fucking wigs because I'm bored of my hair and I really don't want to ruin it. So.
Well, having said that, you also did do a quarantine bangs.
I did. I cut my fringe.
You like it with that, and this wasn't even like a week ago when we were quite tired of the lockdown. This was in like the first couple of days.
No, it wasn't. It was about 3 weeks ago.
It wasn't 3 weeks.
It was 3 weeks ago. I can tell you because I have the photos on my phone, so I can tell you the exact time I did it.
It was early in the quarantine.
No, it was about halfway through the quarantine.
A third of the way through.
Oh my god, you're so argumentative.
And you decided to do quarantine bangs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we watched Tiger King. I know it's a bit out of date now at this stage, but we did rant about it the first time we recorded it. And it was really funny. And really
I don't know if it's going to be as funny now.
I think so. I think it's still relevant.
Yeah.
That's the story of us, though. Like, we're relevant after the relevancy is gone.
We're, like, ironically relevant.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's Joe Exotic.
Yeah, I mean, gay, meth-addled tiger keeper.
Yeah, it's insanely entertaining.
Yeah, and kind of sad.
Yeah, and I did not think that would be, like, the highlight of my springtime.
Yeah, Carol fucking Baskin.
Carol fucking Baskin and Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
Don't even get me started on Doc Antle. He's fucking weird.
I can see in, like, a year's time, when his entire sort of culty group have killed themselves,
we'll be doing an episode
on him. Like, that's foreshadowing now.
Yeah, exactly. Just a random thought that came into my head as well. Is like, when are we going to be able to travel again?
See, I don't know. I mean, I think we were sort of hoping to travel at least to the UK towards the end of the year to see my family.
September.
Towards the end of the year.
No, that's the middle of the year.
September's not the middle of the year.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
July's the middle of the year.
Yeah, but it's not. Oh, whatever. I wouldn't call that the end of the year. I'd call, like, November, December the end of the year.
Yeah. Either way, right? We were hoping to travel, and I genuinely don't know. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think we'll be flying anyway. No. We'll be driving if we do go to the UK. No, because you can social distance on a ferry.
I'd want to go see my dad, but I don't think that's possible.
So
he lives near France.
So unless we get the shuttle to France and see if there's a quick way to get there from France.
Chartered boat, but he lives on an island that has like fucking 100 people on it.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally walk from one side of the island to the other, and...
But I don't know, they might figure a way of doing it.
Maybe, but we do have a pop-in road trip planned for next year.
Yeah, so when we're all allowed out again, and things have calmed down to a point where we are allowed to travel and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, if we have to do this now to save us from doing it later.
Yeah, I'd rather be doing it now, I suppose, than for the rest of the year fully like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I think people just need to stay the fuck at home.
Yeah, basically.
That's that. I think we've ranted enough. Shall we move on to know that actually happened?
Yeah, let's do that. Know that actually happened from a month ago.
No, 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago.
That's a month.
Not quite. Says the one who thought April had 31 days.
Well, look, right, time has no meaning anymore. I've been on a weekend for the past year, so, you know.
Year?
That's how it feels. Like, time has no meaning. Like, I gauge my day by how hungry I am. So, right now, it's not even breakfast time yet.
No. Do you want to know why it's not breakfast time?
Because I ate an entire large pizza and fries to myself.
You ate an entire 12-inch pizza and a large portion of fries all by yourself.
And 2 chicken tendies.
And 2 chicken tenders all by yourself.
Yeah.
I was smart. I saved half of my pizza and I left quite a few of my chips so that I wasn't in the position that you're in right now.
Yeah, well, it was worth it.
Okay, so my... Ow. Ow. I got way too exaggerated and I hit my hand on my cello. All going wrong.
Casually mentions they're better than you.
Hey, lots of people have cellos.
Name one person other than you that has a cello.
The guys from 2 Cellos.
I mean, the clue's kind of in the name there.
Exactly. You did ask me to name one person. I named 2.
Shall we do this?
Okay, so mine comes from Coast to Coast. It's a bit outdated now, but I think it's still quite creepy. It's from April the 2nd. Month late. We're all good. So mystery creature sparks panic in India. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Residents of several villages in India are on edge following a series of strange incidents that are being blamed on a mystery creature. The weirdness has reportedly been unfolding in approximately 5 neighbouring communities in the district of Thrissur. Basically, people are saying a beast has been menacing them, appearing on rooftops and in yards of homes at around 9 p.m. each evening.
It's not El Chupacabra, is it?
That's Spanish. This is India.
It could be a worldwide
Cultural
thing.
appropriation. So basically, obviously, it's fucking dark at that time. No one's been able to get a good look at him.
It's fucking dark. Laura Cottrell, 2020.
Basically, those who have encountered the creature claim that it is incredibly fast and can somehow swiftly leap from one house to another. I know what it is.
What is it?
I know what it is.
What is it?
The monster from Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
The monster from Jeepers Creepers. Every 21st summer.
Every 21st summer.
Or is it spring? I haven't seen it in a while. 21st spring or 21st summer?
It's probably every 21st spring because then it ties in nicely with the spring break where all the American teenagers get killed.
That's it, yeah. Because, and someone did say it was the 21st spring. Okay. I read that on Facebook, so okay. I did.
Okay. Is that the same Facebook that says coronavirus is caused by 5G?
I don't know what Facebook you're looking at, but my Facebook doesn't say that.
Mine does.
It really just shows what kind of people you're interacting with.
Mine does, because I like to infiltrate all the groups.
Are you in Mast Watch Ireland?
No, I'm not. I'm in Global Chemtrails Watch.
Yeah, we liked, in our spare time, we like to infiltrate Facebook groups.
I'm also in This Cat is Chonky.
Yeah, I'm in loads of weird ones, like Casually Mentions They're Better Than You.
Yeah, I'm in that one too.
What other ones are there? Sounds like an MLM, but okay. Anyways, so the visits from this mysterious beast have become so frequent that they have sparked a panic despite there have been no attacks or any thefts or anything negative. People just see it.
Yeah.
And basically it ends with it being so problematic that authorities have had to fine people because they're breaking coronavirus lockdown restrictions and stuff like that. Because people are out there fucking running after this beast.
That's a really 2020 problem, isn't it? People are breaking the lockdown to go chase a mythical beast.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a 2020 problem right there.
So yeah, that was no, that actually happened.
Okay, mine was from... Oh, mine's even more out of date. Mine's from March 27th.
Oh boy.
So I am well out of date.
At least mine's more relevant.
Yeah. So what mine was, it was a strange video that had appeared on YouTube, uploaded by user Bally18 in Phoenix. And
Arizona?
Yes, Arizona. I didn't know there was more than one Phoenix. And what it is it shows like a floating humanoid just hanging out in the air. Hey. In the footage that was uploaded, it looks like a tall, slender person thing.
Slender Man?
Not Slender Man.
The Hat Man?
No, not the Hat Man either.
Oh.
It's just like a sort of shiny looking thing doing like an arms outstretched Jesus pose.
Like the Mothman?
Kind of like the Mothman, but with no wings.
Aye.
And he's just sort of chilling in midair. And it looks very, very bamboozling and strange.
Yeah.
So no one really is sure what it is, but a lot of people, it's the usual UFO people. It's like the second coming of Jesus. Personally, I think it's probably like a fucking optical illusion or a weather balloon or some hoax or some shit.
A weather balloon in a Jesus Christ pose?
You never know. Things can happen.
Okay, since when did you become such a skeptic?
Well, since I don't believe that people are just hanging out in the air doing this.
But you believe a weather balloon can be hanging out in the air doing that?
I think that people can, like, to be honest, it looks more CGI'd to me than anything.
Okay, so it could be fake.
I think it's just faked.
Okay.
People being bored, you know? But it caused a bit of an uproar in the UFO crowd.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a UFO.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's what I had. I
that's
probably had a much more entertaining way of saying it last time, but I've forgotten all that. So, you know.
Okay, so let's move on to the episode. So this all came about, this episode, was where we tried to research a part of this episode and found that we didn't think there was enough there for a full episode. So we decided to just cover it all. So we're talking about Poltergeists.
Poltergeists.
I don't know. Do you think you've ever had an experience with a poltergeist?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think that the thing in Whitby could have potentially been one.
Yeah.
Because it was banging around and shit. So.
Yeah.
Because that is like poltergeisty behaviour.
Poltergeisty
behaviour.
So, do you want to go ahead and explain what a poltergeist is?
A poltergeist is a very complicated thing, really. It's an amalgamation of a lot of different traits from spirits in the past. Yeah. So the best way to describe it is poltergeist, the word, is German for noisy spirit. Okay. So these noisy spirits tend to attach themselves to people and places. They're not like a passive, wandering thing. There's an intelligence behind them. So
there's different kinds of hauntings.
Yeah.
So you have residual hauntings where I think residual hauntings are kind of where there's a place of really bad energy. Yeah. Like war fields and old castles and stuff like that.
Yeah, or maybe not even bad energy, just a lot of energy, a lot of people were there.
It's generally bad.
But it can be like just someone wandering down a corridor for no reason.
Can be, yeah, but it's like I'm saying, it's usually a place where a lot of bad things have happened. Yeah. Because the energy kind of stays there because there's kind of so much of it, you know? Yeah. So battlefields and...
Yeah, battlefields, scenes of crimes and things like that.
Like old prisons as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's where you get your apparition walking down the same hallway.
Yeah, it's usually where a lot of people are seeing the same thing. So I know there is a castle not far from here where a load of people see a woman in the window.
Yeah, just that kind of thing.
That would be a residual haunting.
But the difference between that and what we call an intelligent haunting, which is kind of what a poltergeist is, it's the intelligent haunting will interact with the world around it, so it's aware of the world around it. Yeah. So these residual hauntings could kind of just be doing the same thing over and over again until fucking... Forever. Whereas an intelligent haunting actually is interacting with people and its surroundings, and it knows that they're different from surroundings before. Yeah. If that makes sense.
So, moving things.
Yeah. And not even that, interacting with, door handles and toilets and things like that. Things that maybe weren't around.
Even making sounds and stuff.
So, poltergeist hauntings would start as what you'd call an irritant type thing. Well, not like the chemical type irritant, but an irritating thing to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of just an inconvenience.
Yeah, so it'd be like bangs, knocks, stuff like that, where you just think, fuck's sake, this again.
Yeah, but the normal person would just be like, oh, that's part of the house.
Yeah, you'd think it was the house settling or something like that. And then it can sort of...
Not
always, but can get quite out of control, and things can start moving around by themselves, getting knocked over, getting knocked off the shelves, and books getting thrown off of bookcases and things like that.
We've seen a load of YouTube videos where cabinets, just all of the cabinets just open, and
or things get thrown around for no reason.
Yeah, dolls as well.
Always the fucking dolls. And it can get to the point where the poltergeist is actually attacking people with scratches, pinches, slaps, pokes, hair being pulled, even being set on fire. Yeah, is a particularly fun thing. Well, fun for them maybe. The problem, like we sort of mentioned before, is that poltergeists as a collective word and a collective thing has only been recorded since 17th century.
Yeah.
So
1600s.
Yeah. 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 But the claims that they go back for a long time, but we'll sort of mention that later. Yeah. Poltergeists are a worldwide phenomenon, but they're not always called poltergeists.
Yeah. So each kind of culture has their own kind of version of it.
Yeah, not even. They usually just would call them malicious spirits. Any sort of malicious spirit can be tied to a poltergeist, if you think about it.
Yeah, but each kind of culture has different words for it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, they seem to have a preference for teenage or preteen women too. Yeah. Which is a bit creepy. Yeah. Chris Hansen would like you to take a seat.
Don't start with me on Chris Hansen.
Yeah. Or people under a lot of emotional stress.
Yeah.
Like, there's a theory that the sort of emotional turmoil and stress is what gives the poltergeist its abilities to do these things.
Yeah.
To interact with the world. It takes a lot of energy, and the people under a lot of turmoil and stress are giving out a lot of energy, and that's how poltergeists come to be able to do the things that they can do.
Yeah, I think a lot of, like, I think I read a couple of things about it when we were actually doing this research a month ago.
Yeah.
And, like, poltergeists can possess people.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And they think that people who already have, like, some kind of mental illness,
yeah,
it makes them weaker.
Like, more susceptible. Maybe not weaker, maybe, it's the wrong word, but more susceptible.
Yeah. Yeah, they're more prone to having that happen.
Yeah. There's a theory that people who experience poltergeists are actually mediums, and the poltergeist activity isn't just the one spirit, but like a lot of spirits trying to get through at the same time, which is why it's so crazy and so uncoordinated and so random. It's because there's a lot of energy trying to get through the small doorway, if that makes sense.
I've never heard that before.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah, it does.
Like, if you were to think of it as like a lot of water going through a small hole.
Yeah.
Like, it just sprays everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the sort of poltergeist energy that we're experiencing. It's a lot of spirits trying to get through this so-called small hole because the medium doesn't really know what's going on. And it's just kind of exploding on the other side in things going all kinds of fucking wild.
I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, it's only a theory.
Yeah.
It's
but, like, I think of all the theories, I think that's the one that kind of doesn't make sense to me the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as hauntings go, poltergeists are actually quite rare. You get more accounts of the sort of apparition-y standard hauntings rather than things being able to actually interact with you.
I don't know if it's because we're watching a lot more YouTube or something, or we're actively looking for a lot more.
It's more, I think, because we're actively looking for it.
But they don't seem that rare to me.
Yeah. Like, I think it's because we're actively looking for them.
Yeah, like, we watch a load of, like, these top 5, top 10 channels of ghost hauntings and stuff like that. And not Chills. No,
not Chills. I can't stand his fucking voice.
It's not... Like, I could get used to the voice, but it's the fact that he doesn't, like, fact-check his stuff. Yeah. And he often includes stuff that is proven to be a hoax and stuff like that.
Don't watch Chills.
So, don't watch Chills, but, like, Nuke's Top 5 and Sir Spooks and stuff.
Yeah, you like those?
Yeah, they're very good.
So, yeah. We see a lot of them, and we see a lot of, like, really creepy stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's the age of the camera now. Cameras are always more around. Like, you can just pull your phone out and record something. So and it's in decent quality now as well.
So maybe, like, that's why we're seeing a lot more of it, is because everyone has a way to record what they're seeing. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, no one had that.
You had to have a camera especially there to record.
You had to have a camcorder, and not everyone, or a camera.
Yeah.
And not everyone had that sitting in their back pocket like they do now.
So, there's that too. A typical poltergeist haunting can start out quite slowly, like we said. Yeah. So it's not even knocks and bangs. It can start with just the lights flickering.
We've had that.
That's because we like power grids and shit a lot of the time as well.
Or it could be a poltergeist.
Could be a poltergeist. So lights flickering and knocks and bangs and footsteps and crazy shit.
Yeah.
But not anything that makes you think, well, I'm haunted. Like,
yeah.
And then as it sort of gathers momentum, it can get worse. Like we say, things can get misplaced, moved around, thrown around. Then you can start interacting with things more, sort of door handles shaking, toilets flushing themselves, sinks turning off and on. Yeah,
things, you can physically see things move. Like we saw one where with, words, Laura. There was this big, like, was it a bathtub? The Saudi ghost-kicking door hunter.
No, it was a water tank.
Something very heavy.
Yeah, it was a big water tank.
Flew across the room. Like, you just can't.
Yeah,
like,
you need like a team of people to move that.
Like.
And then that's when people tend to get attacked.
Yeah.
Because when they're that sort of... It's like a storm. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then...
Yeah. See, that's what makes me think that, like, it's not the whole medium theory.
Yeah.
Because if it was just ghosts trying to communicate, why would they start attacking people?
True.
know?
That's true. Looking at the folklore, there's a big problem with poltergeist folklore. And that is the word poltergeist has only been starting to be used since like 1848. Yeah. So you have to sort of use a bit of imagination when thinking what could be a poltergeist before then. Yeah, exactly. So we sort of think that it's a lot of like the old sort of household spirits of pre-Christendom that we think could be pre-Christendom that we'd sort of call poltergeist now. Yeah, even jinn. Yeah. Like anything like that. That's the problem with poltergeists. It's a very broad term. It's like an umbrella term. Yeah. And to be fair, it is an umbrella term. It is. It's an umbrella term for a lot of different things. Yeah. So like jinn, if you want to learn more about jinn, you can go watch you can go listen to our previous episode. Shameless self-plugging. Okay, so one of the ones that possibly could have been kind of classed as a poltergeist was the kobold. And I remember when you were writing this, because you wrote this bit. Yeah. I couldn't understand a fucking word you said. Yeah, a lot of it was spelt quite wrong. Yeah. So the kobold is a kind of Germanic house spirit. They're generally nice and helpful spirits who they'd help around the home, do chores, find lost things. Yeah. That kind of, like... Generally not poltergeisty things. Like, you kind of wouldn't object to them being there. They're very prideful spirits. They didn't like to be insulted or dishonoured and would demand payment for their services in the form of food or beer. I can get behind that. So that's a very German thing to do. Like being paid in schnitzel and beer is a very German thing. Yeah. But if they were insulted or not paid, they could turn on the master of the home. They could play mischievous pranks or hide items belonging to the homeowner or throw things and strike homeowners. Which is very poltergeisty things to do. Yeah, so just like be assholes generally. Yeah, generally be not very cool dudes. Yeah. In one violent episode, a kobold attacked a nobleman, dragged him to the ground and strangled him, nearly killing him. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. There was a murder. Nearly a murder. Nearly a murder. In an even worse attack, a vengeful kobold who had been pranked by a servant boy snuck up into the servants' quarters and strangled the boy before tearing him limb from limb. That wasn't very cool. No. I think that I remember reading about it. I think the prank was literally just something to do with a frog as well. I think he replaced something of the kobold with a frog. Oh. And then the frobold, fuck me. The kobold just decided, you know what, fuck this guy. So it was very difficult to escape from a mischievous kobold. In one tale, a farmer has a barn haunted by a kobold. He ends up burning the barn down to only have that spirit follow him home, saying, "It's about time we got out of that." Like, what the fuck? Like, you know when you go somewhere and you just have that one annoying person that just won't leave you alone? Yeah, I live with him. Oh, that was a knee slapper. That was a knee slapper. That wasn't very fucking nice. Yeah, that kind of person. Yeah. Yeah. I know that. I know the person. Yeah. I know the person too. We're probably both thinking of the same person. Christian exorcisms did sometimes work to get rid of the spirits, but one account says that the kobold tore up the priest's holy book, threw it around the room, and chased the priest away. It's like, no, you. I would pay good money to see that. What that basically was the exorcism with a reverse Uno card. Yeah. Like, if you think about... Do you ever see the movie This Is the End? I'm pretty sure I made you watch it. Probably. It's got Seth Rogen in it and everything. Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen that. And Jonah Hill is laying in bed possessed by the demon. That is exactly how I imagined this exorcism went. Yeah. The power of Christ compels you. Does it, Jay? Does it really? Like, I can just imagine it myself. The kobold just sat there and the priest is just doing his thing and the kobold just was like, no, you, get out. It's like, the fuck are you doing here? So yeah, even good kobolds have a mischievous side. They would often prank their masters with no provocation. A favourite was to kick people who were bending down to pick something up. If you were a kobold, that's what you'd do. Oh yeah. Like, very mischievous and very poltergeisty. Mischievous. Another possible ancestor of the poltergeist could be the fairy. So, I want to do a full episode on fairies. And fairies are another very broad name given to lots of things. So it's hard to sort of... So it's like an umbrella within an umbrella. Yeah, but basically not Tinkerbell, like actual fairies. No. There was a movie, it was a very, very old movie, Leprechauns, or something like that. Yeah. Very similar to that, I think. I think leprechauns come under the fairy term as well. Yeah. So, broad example of fairies, like, any kind of magical creature or sprite or thing of the forest.
Yeah.
They were also thought to be wandering spirits of the dead, demoted angels, lesser demons, elemental powers. Like, it's a very broad thing.
Yeah.
How do you get demoted as an angel?
I think if you like sin in the eyes of the Lord.
So if you breathe, basically.
No, breathing's not a sin.
Really? I'm surprised. Everything else is, so I was trying to be funny.
Oh.
Yeah. They are portrayed in, like, paintings and media. I say media, but, like, paintings and stories and that kind of thing.
Poems and stuff. Tales and shit.
They're portrayed as, like, small people with green eyes and very strong magical powers.
Yeah.
Like, they sort of turn up everywhere in folklore, and they're not really usually seen as a good thing.
Yeah.
But some are seen as less bad. So, like, a good example is the Seelie Court in Scottish mythology. Like, the Seelie Court isn't great, but the Unseelie Court is worse.
Yeah.
So,
like, if anyone's ever watched Shadowhunters, it's very much like that. There's a Seelie Court in that, and it's very similar to that.
Yeah, like, not great, but not terrible either.
Yeah.
Fairies were often seen as, like, pranksters and tricksters, and they range from the very harmless to tangling people's hair up at night to, like, fucking people up, basically.
Yeah.
They're known for moving objects around and leading travellers astray for their own amusement.
Yeah.
But they'd also attack humans who wandered into their areas or who'd offended them.
Okay.
And they'd usually even cause death. The disease tuberculosis, which was back then known as consumption.
Yeah.
That was blamed a lot on fairies, and the idea was that they'd cause humans to dance themselves to deaths. Dance themselves to death.
I heard about that, but I don't think it was in, like, Celtic folklore or anything.
Yeah.
I think it was in British folklore.
Probably.
There were I think they were riders, and if they got off their horse, they would be danced. They would dance to death, yeah. Basically. Their legs would turn to bloody stumps and everything.
Yeah.
I think that was in Leap Castle.
Probably.
Or, I can't remember where it was, but there was something to do with that.
A lot of dancing either way.
Yeah. It was specifically if these knights got off their horses.
Yeah. And, like, fairies genuinely scared people to the point where there'd be, like, talismans and special charms to protect against them.
They still do in Ireland.
Yeah. Like, they build little fairy houses and stuff.
They build fairy forts away from people's homes so they don't
go into the homes.
Yeah.
And, like, but as we said before, that's a very, very, like, broad term of fairies. There's more out there. There's a lot more out there.
I want to do a full episode on it. It's been on the list for ages.
So there will be more to do with fairies. That's just a very broad thing.
So another early origin of kind of poltergeist activity could be witchcraft. I don't really think this could be one of them.
No?
I don't think so. I think it's like a completely different ballgame altogether, but we'll go into it anyway. So in a broad sense, kind of like a spell or curse cast on someone could have the same effect as a poltergeist. So, like, things move in by themselves or spontaneous fires or something like that. Like, back then, when poltergeist was, like, kind of just starting to emerge kind of thing.
Yeah.
There were a lot of witch trials going on and everything like that.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of correlation there. But, like, say you piss off a witch.
Yeah.
She kind of casts a spell on you or a hex or something, say for you to not sleep or, you know, go insane in that way. That could be by things keeping you up at night. Yeah. And stuff like that. So there could be that as well. Or they could, like, summon a demon or something like that to kind of...
Come fuck your day up.
Even, as we said before, even jinn could be something like that. So, I mean, it's a very big leap.
Yeah, it's a leap, but with little to, like, no sort of solid grounding.
Yeah.
You've got to make these leaps.
I think it does kind of fall, like, on the edge of the umbrella term.
Yeah. So, you found yourself with a poltergeist.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
To be fair, first thing I'd do was move house.
Okay, so if you can't move house...
Probably get an exorcism.
No.
Why?
So what you do is, the first option is just wait it out, because some poltergeist attacks don't seem to last very long.
Yeah, but, like, there's ones that do, and we'll talk about them later.
Yeah. And the ones that don't last very long, it can just be a mild haunting. Yeah. So putting up with your shit getting moved around and the odd knock and bang.
Yeah, like, I'd deal with that, but, like, if it was anything more, I'd probably move.
Yeah. Another one is smudging supposed to be effective as well, so the burning of herbs and shit to cleanse the home of its bad energy.
Yeah, and I want to put out there, because I did do this in the original one. There's this big kind of controversy in the witchcraft community at the moment about smudging using sage. It's like a sacred herb for the Native Americans and stuff like that. And it is actually endangered from a lot of people smudging, using it. So if you are going to smudge using sage, grow your own sage plant. Yeah. Or even other thing, incense.
It does
the same thing. Or even if you don't burn fucking herbs or anything, or even incense, walk around your house banging pots and pans and shouting and stuff like that. That is meant to drive some spirits away as well.
So smudge considerately. Smudge considerately?
That's it,
yeah. Smudge considerately. If none of that's helped, you can try and get a good medium, an actual medium, and try and sort of establish contact and figure out what the story is and what's happening. That's another possible way of getting rid of it. And if all else fails, go for the big guns, get an exorcism. Good luck with that. Let me know how it goes.
Oh, it's such a backwards way of getting an exorcism, because I looked into getting one here in Ireland just to see what it would take. And your priest has to contact the... What's the word?
Diocese? Is that the word? Archbishop?
No, it has to contact whatever the main kind of parish is in Ireland. Yeah. And then that parish has to contact the Archbishop of Canterbury. Right. Over in the UK. And then that Archbishop has to go to the Vatican. And then the Vatican has to approve it. And then they have to find someone to perform the exorcism. So this whole process could take months, if not years. And you could be dead by then.
Yeah. It might not even work in the first place. Yeah. Or it might make it worse. Yeah. So... good luck with that, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, and even if you go to your local priest, he might just be like, sure. Yeah. Say 10 Hail Marys and you'll be grand.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Now, €10, please.
Yeah. For the church roof.
For the church roof. No, it's 50 for the church roof. The contributions have gone up.
Have they?
It's hard times. 50 is a recession. €50 for the church roof.
€10 for the church roof, €40 for my pocket.
Yeah. So, we all know you're getting cov books. Cough up. There is some alternative explanations as well. So it might not be a podcast. It might not be a podcast. Why? Why am I like this? It might not be a poltergeist. It might just be a hoax. Yeah. Someone just fucking with you. Yeah. So fishing lines, camera tricks, that kind of thing.
The thing is with fishing lines is that worked well when we were still on film cameras.
Potato quality.
When we were still on film cameras, because they were bad quality, so you wouldn't be able to see the fishing line very well. But the thing is with the fishing line is it's plastic. Yeah. It reflects light. Yeah. So with modern day cameras, it doesn't work so well because you can see the light bouncing off the line.
The lens. I can't word. Camera tricks, clever editing, Photoshop, CGI.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with that nowadays is it's a lot easier to see if you're not working for Hollywood or very experienced. Your basic CGI isn't going to fucking cut it.
No, it's not going to cut it.
Your basic green screen isn't going to cut it. No. You can tell.
Yeah, you can see it. So another explanation certainly for the knocks and bangs and that kind of thing is that the way houses react to being heated up and cooled down constantly.
Especially in America, because they're made of wood.
Yeah, because y'all can't build houses properly. Wooden floors and wood anywhere will generally contract and expand. And especially if your house has been heated at different rates. Yeah. So say your kitchen stove is your main source of heat, and then the sun's hitting other bits of the house, it's all going to expand and contract at a different rate.
Even here in Europe, our roofs are built of wood. Yeah. The foundations of the roof are built with wood. So even the sun rising and heating one side of the house, that'll cause it. Yeah.
And pipes and things can make a lot of noise if there's air in the system. Yeah. So they can really bang if there's an airlock, or they can creak and groan and things like that.
Very easily.
So that's one explanation. Yeah. Gas can be another explanation.
I don't know much about gas because we don't have that over here.
Not necessarily gas, but carbon monoxide. If you're getting a carbon monoxide problem, it can make you see shit. Yeah. So that's another explanation.
Most people have carbon monoxide alarms, though. So...
They do, but the odd few that don't. Yeah. It can be an explanation. I literally just thought of that then.
Did you?
Yeah. So thinking on the fly. But people can suffer from memory lapses, hallucinations, medication. Yeah. Anything like that can cause...
But that's just very blanket explanation.
Again, it's a very, very blanket explanation. It doesn't cover those people who aren't on medication and who don't have memory problems and things like that. Yeah. So, there's a very out there theory that some people like a member of the family's actually got a telekinetic ability. And if they're in distress...
Like Matilda.
Like Matilda.
Yeah.
If they're in distress, they can be moving things and making things bang without realising it.
I'm very interested in telekinesis. Very interested.
The problem with telekinesis is that it's totally unrepeatable in any kind of controlled experiment.
Yeah.
So you can't say it's real or not.
Yeah.
Basically. So it has to be taken with a grain of salt as to whether it's an actual thing or not. So
I definitely believe it.
So it's a possibility. I'm not so sold on it myself, but it's a possibility.
But have you done a lot of reading into it?
Not mega amount of reading.
Yeah, so...
But it kind of upsets Newton's, second law of thermodynamics, so I heard,
Blah, 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 blah.
And the ultimate explanation for Poltergeist is that bitch Carol Baskin.
Hey!
Got to do my funny.
Is that still relevant?
It's always relevant.
So, now we've kind of established what a fucking poltergeist is.
That bitch Carol Baskin. It's
not that bitch Carol Baskin.
It is that bitch Carol Baskin. You all know it.
She's responsible for the quarantine. She's not responsible for... Oh, fuck me. Maybe she is. So yeah, hauntings. I'm going to talk about the one that we were originally going to do a full episode on, but...
Yeah.
The more I read into it, the more I didn't believe it.
No, I didn't believe it either once I'd looked into it.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the Enfield Poltergeist. We've all seen The Conjuring.
Yeah.
It was I think it was the highest box office horror movie in 10, 15 years or something like that.
It was good too.
It was a very good movie. It was a weird movie where shit hits the fan to do with the family who've just moved into a new house. Typical white person horror movie.
Are you allowed to say that?
I can. I think so. If not, call me out on it. But this is something I do not want to happen to us.
No.
If I get blinded by a nice fucking brick fireplace and shit's moving behind me, you call me out.
I will do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Call me out. So anyway, yeah. This movie is based, and I'm very loosely based.
Very much artistic license.
Yeah. The movie added extra shit. So based on a true story. The story of the Enfield Poltergeist or the Enfield Haunting, depending on, where you look.
Yeah.
Is based on a story. In 1977, the Hodgson family moved into a council house in the London borough of Enfield. I did a bit of looking up on Enfield. It seems to be a relatively safe place,
Safe as London can be.
Yeah, it's one of the northernmost boroughs of London. It's more closer to Essex than it is to London. So on the night of August 30th, 1977, Peggy Hodgson had just put her children to bed when she heard a loud scraping sound coming from her daughter Janet and son John's bedroom.
Janet and John.
Now, council houses in the UK, they're not very big generally. Was it 2 up, 2 down?
Yeah, 2 up, 2 down houses. They're in a long row of, they call them terrace houses. I don't know who wouldn't know that, but in case you don't, terrace houses.
So they're attached either side. Yeah, so
they were built for industry originally. They were built to house workers in factories and mines and shit. Yeah. So they're very small, very compact, and yeah.
Yeah, usually for low income families as well. Yeah. So it wasn't a big house, so you could probably hear every single movement. So for her to kind of notice that this was out of the ordinary was kind of strange in itself. Didn't have to be that loud for her to hear it, basically. So she went up to see what was happening, probably expecting the kids to be playing around, kind of avoiding bedtime kind of thing. But when she opened the door, apparently she saw a huge wooden dresser sliding across the room completely on its own while the kids laid in bed.
Okay.
Kind of horrified.
Oh, well, imagine, as understandably.
As you would. Peggy tried to move it back into place, but as soon as she let go, the dresser started moving again, and knocking began on all the walls in the house.
That would be unnerving.
Yeah, I'd get the fuck out of there,
It'd be time to leave.
Yeah. So Peggy panicked.
Understandably.
Naturally. And she rushed her kids over to the neighbour's house. The next night, August 31st, 1977, Peggy rang the police after she and the children saw a chair moving without a cause and hearing the same knocking on the walls.
Why would you call the police, though?
What else would you do?
Well, I suppose you wouldn't really know what else to do, but it just seems like a strange thing to do to call the police.
This is the 70s as well, don't forget.
Yeah, true.
People are very, very weird in the 70s.
Yeah, it was a strange time for everybody.
The policewoman that came to the house also said that she saw a chair wobble, but could not determine the cause of it.
Okay.
So if the policewoman says it, then, it's got a bit more
sort
meat
of
to it.
To the story.
The next day the story was all over the newspapers. These happenings lasted for around 18 months.
Wow.
In those 18 months, around 30 people backed up the Hodgson story as witnesses, which is huge.
That's enough to make it believable.
Yeah. These happenings included furniture moving, chairs being tipped over, the children, specifically Janet, and we'll come to that in a bit, being held down by an invisible force, objects moving, thrown across the room, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Your typical poltergeist activity.
Yeah, typical bad shit going on.
Yeah. Perhaps some of the most interesting proof, and I'm using inverted commas here.
Proof in air quotes.
Comes from a photo taken of Janet in her bedroom. This photo apparently shows her levitating. Now, I've seen the photo, and I think it's a load of fucking bollocks.
It's fucking questionable, is what it is.
Basically, the photo, if you haven't seen it, it shows Janet in midair in her bedroom with the 2 beds in the background.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like she's jumping off the bed. The way that her legs are kind of curled.
Yeah, it
looks like she's kind of springboarding off her bed.
Yeah, it looks like they've caught her at the end, like at the top of a bounce.
Yeah.
So she's all fully in the air and legs are going crazy and everything. Like, it's a very well-timed photo.
Yeah. Like, there's this TikTok of a guy cleaning his house.
Yeah.
And it's basically like freeze frame of him jumping.
Yeah.
And that's the exact
sort
position.
of thing that's going on.
Yeah. And it's interesting to know as well that this photo wasn't taken while anyone else was in the room, only her brother, I do believe.
Yeah.
It was taken on a motion-activated camera.
Right.
So you come to your own conclusions there.
And the other thing as well, if was her brother in the shot? Because I can't remember.
Yeah, he was kind of in the background.
Was he? Would it have been possible that he's covered the motion sensor up until the opportune moment? Because if it was a motion-activated camera, it should have gone as soon as she started moving.
Yeah, could have.
So, is it possible that he's covered the motion sensor?
It's quite possible.
And then as she's gotten to sort of mid-bounce, he's let go of the motion sensor and that's how it's caught her in mid-air.
Yeah. Who knows, but very, very sus. Other proof, again I use air quotes, that happened was that a deep guttural voice came out of Janet on several occasions when her mouth wasn't even moving.
Yeah, ventriloquists would like to know your location, basically.
It would say things like, quote, just before I died I went blind, and quote, and then I had a hemorrhage and I fell asleep and died in the chair in the corner downstairs. Like, that's very specific.
Very strange and very specific.
I'd like to note the language.
Yeah.
Now, hemorrhage isn't a word a young girl would use.
No.
So there is that going for it as well.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's very plain English. There's nothing like kind of up for interpretation there.
No, it's very direct.
It's very direct, and that's something that you don't usually see.
No. And the other thing as well is that people can throw the voice very easy.
Very easy.
Like, you can... Again, ventriloquists can form full words about moving the mouth.
Yeah.
Like, so...
News reporters that were frequently in the house interviewing the family caught the voice on tape, reportedly telling reporters to shut up and fuck off. And the likes. It got to the point where reporters started conducting interviews with this spirit through Janet.
Alrighty then.
By 1979, it seems the spirit left the home, and apart from the odd isolated incident, there was nothing there. Nothing else. There are a lot of people out there that think this is fake, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to come straight out and say that I'm one of them. I don't believe this story at all.
No, I don't believe that happened.
There is a leading theory that during this time, Janet's parents were going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce plays havoc on families of any age.
Yeah, it does.
My parents split up 4 or 5 years ago. And
yeah, it's crazy.
It's tough, like.
Yeah.
So being younger, it obviously takes more of a toll on you. You're a child going from having all the attention
to none of the attention.
To none of the
very
attention.
little of the attention.
Yeah. So perhaps Janet was kind of doing this to get attention.
Yeah.
Because it definitely worked.
Yeah.
And everything seemed to revolve around her for no reason. This isn't helped by the children admitting to and being found to tamper with investigation equipment on several occasions.
Yeah, that kind of ruins any credibility that they had before that.
Yeah, and that is conveniently underreported as well.
Yeah, because everyone likes a good story.
Everyone likes a good ghost story. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe Janet knew that she could do this with her voice.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone.
And just started fucking around.
And what way to kind of almost better get more attention than telling someone to fuck off?
Yeah.
Like knowing she's not allowed to do it, that kind of thing, you know? Obviously, it's all speculation. I don't like kind of discredit anyone that thinks it is real.
No, like, there is some compelling evidence to it, but there's a lot of compelling evidence that says it didn't happen. That's the problem.
The thing is when you're dealing with children in these hauntings, there's only so much you can believe as well. Like,
yeah, because children have a crazy imagination.
They do. They have a crazy imagination, and it kind of works to their advantage if they were to do something like this, because people automatically believe children.
Yeah.
You know,
because you think, why would they lie? Well, this is why they'd lie, to get the attention.
To get the attention.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth saying that Janet, she still to this day says that it was real.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
So, open to interpretation.
Very much so.
So, my story actually comes from my old hometown. Yeah, in Epworth in Doncaster.
It's not.
It is in Doncaster. It's in the borough of Doncaster. So,
what county?
I'm not saying.
What county?
No. So the old rectory in Epworth. So Epworth was a town where I spent my teenage and early 20s, and I used to walk past this place all the time.
And you had no idea.
No idea that there was a story to it. It was the home of the Wesley family. If you've heard of the Wesley family before, and you may have done, two of them, John and Charles, went on to start the Methodism sort of church.
So very, very popular.
Yeah. So that's where Methodism came from. The Wesleys. Methodist movement came from the Wesleys in Epworth, where I grew up.
Just saying. Casually mentions they're better than you.
Casually tries to be relevant. So the rectory in 1716 was a family home.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to get wild. They would hear bangs and groans in the servants' quarters, and unexplicable bangs and moans were kind of a bad omen back then, which is still kind of true. The claims were dismissed by the family as nonsense because it was by servants. You know, go figure. Until the younger daughters of the family started hearing it too.
Yeah.
So, and it got so bad over a period of months that Samuel Wesley, the rector and head of the family in quotation marks, actually began to fear for his family's safety.
Yeah.
So at this point, objects were being thrown around the room and Samuel's daughters were being pinched. So, you know, full-on poltergeisting.
If you're hearing any grumbles in the background, it's Craig's stomach.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. It got so bad that Samuel actually went into the most active room and full-on shouted at the spirit, "You will leave these people alone."
Oof.
Didn't work. I mean, that was quite strong language for 18th century England, so, yeah, it didn't work. But after a few months of craziness, the haunting just stopped altogether. Like, it just moved on and disappeared.
Yeah.
They actually put the events down to the spirit of a deceased caretaker who was called Old Jeffrey, and he died a few weeks before it all started.
Oh.
So
that's unusual, because you don't hear of any hauntings that happen from people that are very newly dead.
So they must have, I don't know, strange one.
Yeah.
Today the rectory is actually preserved as a historical building, and they carry tours out through there.
Yeah.
It's like a preserved old English house.
Yeah.
People still say they hear like bangs and groans and electrical disturbances and things like that in there.
Shit.
So I'll take you to see it next time we're there, if we ever get back there.
Yeah, if we're ever allowed to leave this godforsaken house.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay. I am going to talk about one that I find super interesting. I kind of want to do like a full episode on this place in general. Yeah. Because it's very, very creepy. So I'm going to talk about the Greyfriars Mackenzie Poltergeist. Now, Greyfriars is a graveyard in Edinburgh, I do believe. Yeah. Yeah. Edinburgh. So to understand this one, we kind of have to go back to the 17th century in Scotland. Yeah. King Charles had made a law that the Common Book of Prayer was the prescribed reading, and that any other book that went against this book, or the opposition, was an act of treason. Nice. So this was a very bold law to introduce, right? Yeah. So he needed someone to enforce this, and he appointed George Mackenzie as the lawyer responsible to take down the opposition and anyone who read anything other than this book. This man was fucking vile. He imprisoned and tortured so many people in a section of Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh. And he reportedly loved seeing people get tortured. He was well into that, was he? Yeah, he wasn't doing the tortures himself. He would like to kind of stand on the sidelines and watch. That's
a bit creepy. He's one of those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
He even decorated a spiked gate outside Greyfriars with their heads.
Oh, we love a good head on a spike.
Yeah. After his death, in a kind of like poetic irony, he was entombed in a section of Greyfriars called Covenanters Prison. Nice. Which was where he used to do
all his torturings.
He was buried in the exact same place.
I'm sure nothing can go wrong from that.
Yeah. His tomb was called the Black Mausoleum. And Okay, so now we need to fast forward to the 90s.
They were a great time to be alive.
I love the 90s. So the period between the first recording sightings in 1999 and the present have seen hundreds of documented attacks in or around the Black Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Of these attacks, 140 have caused witnesses to collapse.
Shit.
140. Like, if you think about it, that's what, 21 years?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
Apparently, in 1998 or 1999, accounts kind of differ. A homeless man broke into the Black Mausoleum in search of either shelter or stuff to sell.
Yeah.
Kind of probably leaning more towards valuables to sell. He reportedly ransacked the place, like proper, like breaking open urns.
Yeah, and just
stuff like that.
Give it a good old looting.
Yeah. Until he came to the casket that held George Mackenzie. As he was trying to pry it open, he fell through a hole. Some reports say that the hole was there and he just didn't see it. And other reports say that the hole, like, literally opened up underneath him. And he fell into an old plague pit that was conveniently under there.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah.
Nice bit of plague. How nice.
Yeah. That's conveniently under a vile man's tomb. So.
I mean, these things tend to attract, so,
yeah. Reports are kind of constantly coming in about this place. Constantly. Apparently, not long after the first sighting, a woman looked into the tomb. Just looked in.
Yeah.
And she was reportedly blown back onto the floor by a cold force, hitting her head and knocking her out and shit like that. Yeah. Another sighting was a woman was found unconscious near the tomb with her neck covered in bruises, like someone had tried to strangle her. There's no follow-up from this either, so that could have been like an actual attack.
Yeah.
So, but it's convenient that it happened near the Black Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Documented injuries kind of done by the Mackenzie poltergeist include burns, skin gouges, specifically around the neck and abdomen. Possibly because that's where he liked to torture people. Who knows?
Maybe he's just carrying out his torturings.
Yeah. Unexplained bruises, broken fingers, feeling as if one's hair is being pulled. Some visitors have also said they were punched or kicked by an invisible attacker while in or around the Mackenzie tomb. Others talk of feeling sick or numb or strange smells or hearing things, such as like wall and floor knocks.
Yeah.
The general kind of poltergeisty things. Some people even say the poltergeist followed them back to their home.
Nice.
It wasn't just people passing by that had issues with the Black Mausoleum and Mackenzie in general. In 2002, a large fire broke out in the houses behind the Mackenzie tomb. And a year later, in 2003, a fire broke out in some buildings overlooking the tomb.
So it's all very sort of tomb-centric.
Yeah. Back in 2000, Colin Grant, an exorcist, minister, spiritualist, church, blah, 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 blah. Generally,
One of those guys.
He performed an exorcism ceremony on the graveyard. Standing in the cemetery, it said he was overcome by the sensation of being surrounded by hundreds of tormented souls and evil spirits, trying to break through to the mortal realm.
Oh, lovely.
Fearing for his own life, he quickly left, saying the evil was too powerful for him to overcome. A few weeks later, Colin Grant was found dead of a sudden and unexpected heart attack.
Well, that says a lot there as well.
I kind of believe this one because, like, Edinburgh is a very, like, kind of mystical place.
Yeah, it's a very old city, and lots of mad shit happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know. I do believe this one. I would like to go. It's only like a hop across the sea. So
yeah, we're not going there.
I'm going.
Well,
whether you're
go.
coming or
That's
not.
That's fine. You can go.
I'm going. So
don't be bringing nothing back with you.
Can't help it.
So So it's a weird one.
You're the last one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It started in a idyllic-sounding town of Caronia in Sicily, and it's generally some mad shit.
I remember this one.
Yeah, it's some mad shit, and it started with a fire in a man called Antonio Pezzino's home. Yeah. So the fuse box just inexplicably caught fire. Mm-hmm. So then that's all accounts. It's pretty bad. Yeah. Like, it was a pretty bad fire. But we put the fire out and one thing and another. And then it got worse in the coming days where his TV, ceiling fan and other appliances, just burst into flames.
Fucking hell.
Bad times for him. And it would have just been bad times for him, except his neighbour's shit began to catch fire in the same way.
Well.
So, you think to yourself, well, these are old houses, old wiring.
Yeah.
It can happen. So they replaced all the wiring and brought it up to code. Mm-hmm. And shit still kept catching fire.
I don't like that.
And it got to the point where the mayor took the decision to actually take the houses off the power grid in case there was a genuine problem.
Yeah.
That didn't stop anything. The fire still happened, and witness reports say that the actual outlets were glowing red hot from the heat.
Fucking hell.
So, overall, 92 fires were logged across the town, and an investigation was carried out by literally everyone you can think of. They found nothing out of the ordinary. No sabotage, no faulty wiring, nothing.
That's fucked up.
So, it actually ended up with the townspeople being evacuated.
Fuck. Did they ever go back?
Oh, yeah, they went back.
Of course they did.
A priest got involved and said it was definitely the work of the devil. Absolutely the work of the devil.
When was this again?
2003.
Yeah. Sicily is a very religious place,
Yeah.
though.
So, definitely work of the devil. But these investigations, like, they were pointing fingers at the people in the town saying, no, it must be you. And they're like, no, it's not us. And, like, it was just mad shit.
Yeah.
Things would just catch fire for literally no reason.
That's fucked up.
Like, and it was, those 92 fires were sort of, like, near enough at the same time after a while.
Yeah.
Like, the entire town would be burning because of all their electrical stuff just kept catching fire. You could unplug it and it'd still catch fire. That's very strange. And, like, the investigations found that the fires were starting it wasn't coming from the wires.
Okay.
Like the wires and everything were still intact.
Oh fuck! All right, yeah.
So it was very, very strange. And then March of 2004, everything was normal again.
That's kind of a running theme, except for the Greyfriars one,
Yeah.
because I do believe that's like a bigger thing.
Yeah.
But they just stop.
Yeah. Like they had a lot of people blamed that one on sort of like magnetic.
That's what I was
disturbances
thinking.
And things. Yeah. Like there was a proper surveys done on it and everything.
Yeah.
And they found that it could be like to do with some kind of magnetic disturbance and things, and
that's
like,
what I was thinking.
Specific conditions to that place that can cause it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, mad shit.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the end of the episode.
That's it.
Cut.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it. Like, obviously, like I do believe in them, everything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they are real.
Yeah.
But maybe not as. I certainly don't think the Enfield one's real.
No.
Like.
Absolutely not. I think Poltergeist is kind of like a very quick like get out of jail free card.
It is. And the other thing as well with it is we found this when we were researching is that because of those fucking movies.
The movies.
It's hard to get
so
anything
difficult.
sort of concrete. That's why we had to think outside the box with like the bit of the research and stuff, because you type in Poltergeist and 3, 4, 5 pages in, it's still talking about the fucking movies.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It's very difficult to find like concrete evidence.
Yeah.
Even when you look at the Enfield haunting as well, a lot of your sources are saying shit from the movie's real, and it's just not.
Yeah.
The people who made the movie came out and said it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult.
And that was the big problem we encountered with this, is that I remember the frustration of trying to find actual concrete fucking stuff.
That's it.
And it was just movie stuff.
So Hollywood, please stop fucking up everything.
Yeah. Do a new horror movie that's not about poltergeists.
Yeah.
Please.
Or have no mention of poltergeists.
Yeah.
Like, we're smart. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
like...
we know what it's going to be.
Yeah, so thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Sorry for the delay. I mean, blame the Rona.
Yeah.
Blame the Rona and me trying to play new games on an old laptop, basically.
Yeah. So thanks to our inmates on Patreon, Dee, Ray and Ed. And if you liked this episode, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, where we occasionally post.
Yeah.
We'll answer messages and stuff. Like, if you want to talk to us, like
we like to talk.
We are online. We just don't post a lot. You can also support us on Patreon if you can. I know that this pandemic has really thrown everyone's finances up in the air. So if you can't, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But you can support us in another way by telling your friends about us, telling anyone you know about us if you think they'll like our show and stuff.
I mean, even if you don't, tell them anyway.
Yeah, tell them anyway. We also have a Facebook group. If you search Spectral Asylum Inmates Discussion Group, you'll find it. You just have to answer who we are. We are Laura and Craig.
We are. Yeah. I was going to try to say something funny then, but obviously it didn't happen.
We have merch as well. It's up there on Redbubble. We have a YouTube channel as well where we occasionally post. My laptop is running to the ground now as well.
You're about to melt your graphics card too, so
yeah, so I have to move all my Adobe editing stuff onto your laptop, and we can't both use it at the same time for obvious reasons. So yeah, things are a bit slow.
Bear with us, like we are trying.
We are trying. it'll be a lot easier when we get our own house.
Yeah, that's the other problem as well.
Yeah. So, but...
Stick with us.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so that's it. Don't forget to leave a review. I don't even know if fucking iTunes is still doing reviews at this stage. But yeah, wash your damn hands, stay the fuck at home, and fuck that bitch Carol Baskin.
Yeah, fuck Carol Baskin. Like, I know in Europe, we're not over it yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. To everyone in America,
good
stick
fucking
with
luck.
it. Stick with it.
Don't inject bleach.
Don't inject bleach. Just stick with staying at home. Even if everyone else is going outside, it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
Stay at home, social distance, wash your hands.
Yeah. Don't inject bleach.
I believe in wearing masks.
Yeah.
Make your own, though. Make your own with 100% cotton. Don't be taking the medical grade ones away from the healthcare staff. Make your own. Plenty of tutorials on YouTube.
And the other thing as well, right? Your masks and your gloves and everything, put them in the fucking bin. Jesus Christ.
Don't be fucking just discarding them. Don't be that fucking asshole.
Like that shit. I know that we're using a lot more single-use plastic now than we ever have been before, with good reason.
Yeah.
Like, don't throw it on the floor. Put it in the fucking bin.
Put it in the bin. Like,
Christ.
I saw awful photos of in China. They were digging them out of the river and stuff like that, and it's not right. So, be responsible.
Yeah.
Be responsible. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm having a massive sugar crash and I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
I'm going to go eat my leftover pizza.
Let's go wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.